Welcome to part 1 of our series on microaggressions. What are microaggressions? Microaggressions are everyday verbal, nonverbal, and environmental slights, snubs, or insults, whether intentional or unintentional, by members of a dominant group that communicate derogatory or negative prejudices against members of a marginalized group. Now, a dominant group possesses the majority of power, privileges, and social status within a culture. In Western culture, dominant groups include people who are white, male, heterosexual, cisgender, Christian, non-disabled, or middle to upper class. A marginalized group is any group that is seen as other by a dominant group. They are not always the mathematical minority, but are often underrepresented in or excluded from economic and educational opportunities, social spaces, and mainstream media, and have more obstacles to overcome than those of a dominant group. Most people belong to some dominant groups and some marginalized groups. For example, a white woman's race puts her in a dominant group, while her gender puts her in a marginalized group. A man's disability might put him in a marginalized group, but he still benefits from being part of a dominant group due to his gender. With that in mind, remember that microaggressions target marginalized identities. So making fun of someone for being white, while not very nice, is not a microaggression because white people are not a marginalized group. But since everyone belongs to many different identity groups, white people may still experience microaggressions, just not about being white. They may still be targets of microaggressions due to their gender, religion, class, or another identity, but not their race. Now, since micro means small, that part is a bit of a misnomer and diminishes the harm that microaggressions cause. Something may feel micro to the person saying it when it does not feel micro to the person hearing it. To people who experience microaggressions every day, those seemingly small interactions can make a big impact. The term microaggression was coined by Harvard University psychiatrist Chester M. Pierce in 1970 in his article Offensive Mechanisms. He wrote, "The enormity of the complications microaggressions cause can be appreciated only when one considers that these subtle blows are delivered incessantly. Even though any single offense can be considered relatively innocuous, the cumulative effect is of an unimaginable magnitude." When he coined the term, Pierce wasn't talking about something insignificant or something to appease what some may call PC culture. In fact, his article predates common usage of the term politically correct. He was talking about all of the threads that cumulatively weave together the fabric of racism and discrimination in our country. He went on to say, "Offensive mechanisms, the small continuous bombardments of microaggression, are the essential ingredient in race relations and race interactions. So even in instances where no harm was intended, all microaggressions, in fact, cause great harm and contribute to the racism, sexism, homophobia, and other forms of discrimination that are all too present in our society. Learning to identify, address, and unlearn microaggressions in others as well as in ourselves is a crucial first step to building a welcoming, equitable, and just society." Chester Pierce wrote in Offensive Mechanisms, "It is my fondest hope that the day is not far remote when every Black child will recognize and defend promptly and adequately against every offensive microaggression." How sad is that? His wildest dream was that all Black children would be able to defend themselves against microaggressions. How about dreaming that their white peers would be able to step in and defend them so that they wouldn't have to shoulder that burden alone? How about dreaming that people would stop committing microaggressions altogether? Maybe that's too much to hope for. After all, it's been over 50 years since Pierce wrote that modest dream, and we're still not close to reaching even that. But we think we can dream bigger. Join us for this series where we'll be unpacking different types of microaggressions and how to identify, address, and unlearn them. Follow Oniana for Equality on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram to see when new videos are posted.